This country right now is at a crossroads. For the past 18 months, our economic output plummeted as COVID put millions of Americans on the couch. When COVID first hit, Washington forced a massive swath of society to stop working, literally forcing their dependence on government. It wasn't political at that point, it was a pandemic. Trump was in the White House, of course. But even still, COVID has created a very dangerous threat to the fabric of this nation. For decades, the Americans led the world as the hardest working society, and we all saw the fruits of our labor. Much of the world lives under the weight of governments that stifle human motivation. Many people live in places where their efforts will never be rewarded, and so their efforts are minimal. Take a trip to most of Africa or Cuba if you want to see for yourself. Self-sufficiency is what drives progress in this world, the idea that working hard leads to a better life. It's very important. The more you work, the better off you'll live. It is the foundation of freedom and capitalism. You chart your own path. When the Democrats won the government last year, we were all reasonably concerned. Socialism, which in America would be a rapid expansion of government control and redistribution of wealth in the hopes of improving quality of life for the poor, is the hot phrase with Democrats. Many of us breathed a sigh of relief when President Biden said this not too long ago.
Communism is a failed system, universally failed system. And I don't see socialism as a very useful substitute.
That was a good statement. We were happy to hear that, to be honest. But this week we've started seeing the impact of the COVID pandemic on the on the way Americans view their government, I should say. As a nation, we are shockingly much more trusting of this massive beast that we have created in Washington, D.C., a beast that has grown out of control and is essentially run by lobbyists and special interests at this point. Suddenly, most Americans seem to think that big government is great, as most in new polling approve of the ridiculous $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill, a massive advancement of American socialism through free child care, free pre-K, expansions of Medicare and Medicaid, and free community college. That's what the bill calls for. A major expansion of American entitlements and the federal government's responsibility, and a majority of Americans are in favor of it. And even more shocking, 59%, 56 for the $3.5 trillion, 59% of registered Democrats now have a positive view of socialism in this country. It's a shocking number, and I imagine that soundbite we just played is the last time you're going to hear Joe Biden say much of anything negative about socialism with numbers like that. So what would a transition to socialism do to the world's hardest working and wealthiest country? Well, one of my favorite thinkers is a guy named Charles Murray, who said this: people need self-respect, but self-respect must be earned. It cannot be self-respect if it is not earned, and the only way to earn anything is to achieve it in the face of the possibility of failing. Being even partially reliant on government in perpetuity, on handouts in general, is bad for the human spirit. It just is. We are not meant to live like dogs waiting for our overlords to feed us every day. In life, the easy way out is easy for a reason. We cannot go that direction. Collectivism leads to collective laziness. When we all work for a common goal and then share everything, you're going to get a lot of people that are just going to ride on the coattails and go along. Capitalism, the engine of self-reliance, leads to prosperity always. Today is the 40th anniversary of President Reagan's Economic Recovery Tax Act, 1981. Reagan inherited an abysmal economy. Listen to his remarks as he pitched his plan to the American people to save it.
I remember telling you we were in the worst economic mess since the Great Depression. Prices were continuing to spiral upward, unemployment was reaching intolerable levels, and all because government was too big and spent too much of our money.
History right now is in the process of repeating itself, it seems. It took a pandemic to fool Americans into supporting ideas that don't work, like collectivism, like socialism. More government and more welfare, of course, begats even more poverty and more welfare. It just does. It's the sad reality. Being the nice guy, playing the nice guy, usually doesn't work. Look at Lyndon Johnson's war on poverty in the 1960s. Government attempts to spend ourselves out of poverty backfired, according to the Heritage Foundation. Since that time, U.S. taxpayers have spent over $22 trillion on anti-poverty programs, 3 times the cost of all U.S. wars since the American Revolution. Now, you would think that kind of spending, $22 trillion, is just, you can't even fathom that amount of money. It should have eradicated poverty forever. And it would be Johnson, and it would if Johnson's plan was effective, but it actually, of course, does just the opposite. It attracts people who otherwise would figure out how to support themselves to just take the free check and sit on the couch.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.